Hi there, Mouseketeers. Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Fantasmic at Disneyland is our favorite nighttime spectacular.
There's just something about it that seems so magical.
And better than its sister version in Orlando, but what is it? What makes it stand out amongst so many shows?
Come on, into the parks with us for 5 reasons why Disneyland's Fantasmic is the best Disney nighttime spectacular.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure into your pirates, eh?
Made the jump to life.
Hi there, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. Our first reason why we think Fantasmic at Disneyland is the best of the best is scale.
Between the 6 Disney theme parks in the US, there are some pretty incredible nighttime spectacular shows. There are amazing projection-based shows like the Tree of Life Awakening at Animal Kingdom, or currently closed shows like the River of Light that really incorporate its environment into the show.
Or there are the giant, stupendous, spectacular presentations like the newer Harmonious show at Epcot, or Disney Enchantment at the Magic Kingdom.
And we would argue Orlando's version of Fantasmic falls into this category as well, with its massive production and dedicated theater.
But the version at Disneyland isn't too small, and it isn't too big. It's just right. Shows at Walt Disney World have to be able to be viewed by thousands, even tens of thousands of people at once. The scale is absolutely enormous. A show like Harmonious has a huge show barge with tons of lights and fountains all over it, hundreds of them.
And the fireworks shows are absolutely enormous, all supported by the much larger scale of the castle and the much larger Main Street USA. Everything is huge, impressive, and practically makes you genuflect in awe.
Even World of Color at Disney California Adventure, it is massive with its hundreds of fountains.
But Fantasmic at Disneyland has a scale that fits with it, a much more intimate, cozy, and charming feeling and scale. It only has a couple dozen fountains. It's large enough to be impressive, but small enough that you can see the action and actors for yourself. It's not something you have to view on a jumbotron to appreciate.
The other thing that we think makes Fantasmic at Disneyland better is location.
Many of the stages and theme parks are really quite obviously placed, many times out of a necessity to serve huge crowds. They may be amphitheaters or raised platforms or even huge barges that are created exclusively to serve the purpose of the show.
But we far prefer when things happen organically in the parks, when areas are used for multiple purposes, when something is one thing during the day and then it magically transforms into something else at night.
To us, the magic of Main Street USA hosting a show just has a more magical appeal than a specific stage, even if it does mean not getting a seat.
Disneyland's Fantasmic seems to come out of nowhere. It's just part of the surroundings. Slowly as the sun sets, the crew readies the areas of New Orleans Square, Pirates Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island, and the rest of Frontierland.
Even with the newly expanded seating area that now has less decorative levels, the whole place just oozes charm as you find a cozy spot to wait for the show. The river is placid and tranquil, and everything just seems right with the world while the sun sets. It's one of our favorite things about Disneyland.
Then the show starts, and you realize what was a riverfront corridor has itself become a theater. The island a stage, and its tall trees the backdrop. At once you get flavors of Frontierland, Adventureland, and New Orleans Square, with amazing seating and secret viewing areas found throughout.
We think this is so much better than any dedicated amphitheater Disney has created to date.
Another thing that we love about Fantasmic at Disneyland is that it uses actual park attractions.
It's very cool when items are created specifically for nighttime spectaculars, such as characters flying in over the castle or even the various show barges, boats, or floats that are often centerpieces for the shows.
But there's something much more impressive to us when actual park attractions that are used every day are used in the show.
One attraction at Disneyland is a star of the show in its own right, the sailing ship Columbia. This 3-masted sailing ship, which Walt Disney himself oversaw the construction of, is an amazing attraction during the day, but as part of Fantasmic, it creates a jaw-dropping moment every time.
A cast of stunt performers perform acrobatics while acting out a story on the very much real rigging of an authentic sailing ship. I still get goosebumps every time that ship turns the corner into view.
And I'm not sure it can get much more quintessentially Disney than seeing dozens of Disney characters dancing and waving from the rails of the Mark Twain riverboat. And it makes a difference that it's the real thing, an actual attraction. Walt Disney World's Fantasmic has a smaller scaled sort of riverboat knockoff, and it comes across as just that, a cheaper copy of the real thing.
Also, the stage for the show is part of Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island during the day. You can explore it and look for the various trapdoors that make the show work. It's fun being able to explore the backstage of the show during the day and have it seamlessly fit into the area. The next time you're at Lafitte's Tavern, remember, you're standing on top of a dragon.
Now, this one gets personal to a specific version of the show, but we think the version in Disneyland just works much better without the huge Pocahontas sequence that's the centerpiece of the Disney World version.
The Walt Disney World Fantasmic set is a huge mountain surrounded by a lagoon. It's pretty big. In fact, it's the fourth largest constructed mountain on Walt Disney World property, and it becomes the backdrop for this sequence, which gets more airtime than any other single IP in the show.
This sequence of the show really showcases and homages famous historical dramas such as The Lost Colony or Unto These Hills. However, despite some beautiful music, Disney didn't get a lot of its version of the Pocahontas story historically right, and that makes this sequence, at the very least, awkward.
And we also think that the villain in the sequence, Governor Ratcliffe, he looks absolutely preposterous playing next to the rest of the cast with his comically huge headpiece.
This set seems designed in large part to serve the needs of this specific sequence, and though the songs and some of the stunts are great, we think it kind of falls flat compared to the more Mickey-centric version of the show found at Disneyland.
Disneyland's version has iconic moments within its sequence that highlight different animated films, but it always keeps the momentum going and the story focused on Mickey's fantastic imagination.
Now, what makes Fantasmic the best nighttime spectacular at Disneyland? What puts it over the top, a step above the incredible fireworks presentations or the incredible theatrical storytelling machines that are World of Color or Harmonious, is that Fantasmic uses real actors to help tell its story.
The version at Disneyland, in our opinion, does a better job than pretty much any other Disney spectacular in the world at blending live action with animated and projected sequences.
They seem to work flawlessly together, actors, dancers, stunt artists, and more, bringing humanity and dramatic interest to this show, while others rely entirely on projected imagery and colored lighting.
We even get to see a real-life Mickey actor jump into the animated world and then back out again.
The real-life sequences with real actors and real sets and props balance out the projected sequences, and when you combine actual Disney attractions and real themed locations, we just don't think it gets much better than Fantasmic.
We look forward to seeing this show evolve in the future. There have been several different versions and sequences at this point, but we hope those main elements of location, attractions, and real actors and sets balanced with animated ones stay the same.
Fantasmic has just triumphantly returned at Disneyland with the same version of the show that was running prior to the pandemic's closing of this fan favorite for almost 3 years.
And Walt Disney World says that its version of Fantasmic will be returning this year, but a specific date has yet to be set. Our guess would be late summer or the fall.
We can't wait to get to Disneyland to see our favorite nighttime spectacular again.
And what do you think? Is Fantasmic the best nighttime spectacular at Disneyland, the country, or even the world? Let us know in the comments.
We hope you have a magical day. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.
See you real soon.
Some imagination, huh?